This is video 2 of 2 videos that show how to enter incident details and injury details in iPeople. The first video was how to create the incident details report. This second video is titled How to create the injury details report. In this video, you will learn how to submit an injury details report in iPeople. When filling out the injury details report in iPeople, best practice is to fill it out after saving the incident details report because the injury details report links to the incident details report. As a result, this video will pick up where we left off in the incident details report video. Navigate to the injury details report page to fill out the report and link it to the incident details report that was just completed. First, navigate to the top left of the screen. Click Injury Details. This will open the corresponding Injury Details page and will link it to the corresponding incident details that you have just entered. You will see 3 tabs at the top of the screen: Injury, Description, and Details. My screen has extra tabs: Statements, First Aid, Diagnoses, Work-Related, and Reporting, because I have an admin access to the page. You will not have these tabs. We will be learning how to enter information into 3 tabs available to you: the Injury, Description, and Details tabs. If you close out of the Injury Details page, you will first need to search for the Injury Details page by using the search fields in the Find an Existing Value tab. In the search results that appear below the fields, select the row of the Injury Details report that needs to be recorded. The first tab is the Injury tab. Enter information regarding the person with the injury in this tab. The first section is the Person Involved section. Information about the injured person is entered here. Enter the employee ID for the person with the injury in the EMPL ID field. If you do not know the EMPL ID, click the Lookup button to the right of the field. In the pop-up window that appears, search for the employee using the search fields at the top of the screen. Then click the Search button. Locate the employee in the search results that appear. Click on the Employees row. This will close the window, and the EMPL ID will be now entered into the EMPL ID field. If the person is not an employee, a non-EMPL ID will need to be entered. Please contact an EHS or RM staff member to obtain a non-employee ID for this person. After receiving the assigned non-EMPL ID, enter this number into the non-EMPL ID field. Click in the EMPL record field to autofill the data for the employee data at incident date section below. The 0 indicates that the system will autofill the employee data at incident date section based on the employee's main position at the university. If the employee has multiple positions, click the Lookup button and select the position the employee had during the incident. This will autofill the employee data at incident date section below. In the employee data at incident date section, the business unit, department, job code, and location of the employee during the incident will be autofilled based on the value in the EMPL record field. The second section is Notification This Person. Enter the date the injury was reported in the Date Reported field using the MMDD/YYYY format. Alternatively, click on the calendar icon to the right of the field and click on the date the injury was reported. This will enter the date in the field. Enter the time the injury was reported in the Time Reported field. Enter AM or PM after the time. The time zone is default set to CST. If this needs to be changed, use the drop-down menu to set the new time zone. The next tab is the Description tab. Enter information describing the injury in this tab. There are 3 choices for type of incident in the Primary Outcome field: injury, illness, and death. Select the radio button next to the type of incident. In the Treatment Required section, there are 4 choices for the type of treatment given to the injury: medical treatment, first aid, hospitalized, and not required. Select the radio button next to the treatment type received. The injury/illness details field is a free-form field. Describe the injured body part along with the type of injury. The final tab is the Details tab. More specific information about the injury can be entered here. The first section in this tab is the Injury Description section. Select each hyperlink to enter specific information about the injury. The first hyperlink is Body Parts. Click this link. In the pop-up window that appears, enter the code for the body part in the Body Part field. Alternatively, click the Lookup button in this field and select the body part from the list that appears in the new pop-up window. For this example, select Ankle. This will close the new pop-up window. In the Side of Body field, select the side of the body the injury occurred using the drop-down menu. Select the checkbox in the Primary Injury field to indicate that this is for the primary injury. Click the OK button. This will close the window. The second hyperlink is Nature of Injury. Click this link. In the pop-up window that appears, enter the code for the nature of the injury in the Nature of Injury field. Alternatively, click the Lookup button in this field and select the nature of the injury from the list that appears in the new pop-up window. For this example, select Sprain. This will close the new pop-up window. Select the checkbox in the Primary Injury field to indicate that this is for the primary injury. Select the checkbox in the Privacy Case field to indicate that this case is private. Click the OK button. This will close the window. The third hyperlink is Source of Injury. Click this link. In the pop-up window that appears, enter the code for the source of the injury, or what caused the injury, in the Source of Injury field. Alternatively, click the Lookup button in this field and select the injury source from the list that appears in the new pop-up window. For this example, select Fall/Same Level. This will close the window. Select the checkbox in the Primary Injury field to indicate that this is for the primary injury. Click the OK button. This will close the window. The fourth hyperlink is Accident Type. Click this link. In the pop-up window that appears, enter the code for the type of accident that occurred in the Accident Type field. Alternatively, click the Lookup button in this field and select the injury source from the list that appears in the new pop-up window. For this example, select Fall, Slip, or Trip. This will close the window. Select the checkbox in the Primary Injury field to indicate that this is for the primary injury. Click the OK button. This will close the window. The final hyperlink is Unsafe Act. Click this link. In the pop-up window that appears, enter the code for the type of unsafe act that caused the injury in the Unsafe Act field. Alternatively, click the Lookup button in this field and select the Unsafe Act from the list that appears in the new pop-up window. For this example, select No Contributing Unsafe Act. This will close the window. Select the checkbox in the Primary Injury field to indicate that this is for the primary injury. Click the OK button. This will close the window. The second section in this tab is Primary Injury Details. A summary of all the selections made in the Injury Description section can now be viewed in this section. Scroll to the bottom of the screen. Click the Save button. The injury details have now been successfully entered. This concludes the video on how to submit an injury details report in iPeople. If you cannot log into iPeople, or if you experience any other technical problems, please contact the Technology Support Center. You can give them a call at 309-438-4357, email them at supportcenter@illinoisstate.edu, or submit a ticket at help.illinoisstate.edu.